Hey there. Today we're going to dig into a really interesting paradox that's right at the heart of leadership. Honestly, it's something that can trip up even the most experienced managers. But once you get it, it's the key to becoming truly influential.
So get this, the source material we're looking at hits us with two statements that are complete opposites, one right after the other. First, we're told, leadership is about you. Then in the very next module, it says, leadership is not about you. It's a puzzle, right? And it's definitely designed to make us stop and think.
And that leads to the big question. Which one is true? What's the right answer here? Is leadership all about mastering yourself, or is it about how you influence other people? Well, as we're about to see, the answer is a big, powerful yes to both. Okay, let's start with the first piece of this puzzle. The idea that before you can even dream of leading anyone else, the whole journey really has to start with you. It's all about building that personal foundation where all your influence is going to come from.
You know, we've all heard that old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But this takes it a whole step further. It's not just about how big your network is, but about the real quality of your connections. It argues that what's most important is who actually likes you.
So how do you actually get people to like you? Well, the material points to what the top 25% of leaders do. And it's not about some grand, complicated strategy. It's about basic human connection. You know, being warmer, smiling, and giving someone your absolute, undivided attention. And that means putting your phone away, actually looking at the person you're talking to, and really, truly listening. Not just waiting for your turn to speak, but repeating back what you heard to show you actually get it.
And all of those little things, the listening, the focus, the smiling, they're not just about being nice. They are literally the building blocks for the absolute foundation of leadership, trust. Seriously, without trust, you've got nothing.
Okay, so this idea of trustworthiness gets broken down into four key elements. You've got to be open with people. You've got to be reliable. You've got to be equitable or fair. But notice which one is listed first and which one gets all the attention.
Yep, competence. This message is hammered home again and again. Be very, very competent. Because as they say, people trust competent people. This is the part of the "it's about you" equation that you just can't skip. You have to be so good at what you do that people can't ignore you. You earn your influence through your proven skill.
But here's where things take a turn. You can be the most competent, trustworthy, and likable person in the entire building, and it still might not be enough. As this cartoon shows so well, you can tell the horse what to do, but you can't just order it to drink. Just giving instructions doesn't always work.
And this brings us right to the second half of our paradox. Once you've built that solid personal foundation, your focus has to shift completely. It has to move away from yourself and onto the people you're trying to lead.
So here's the bottom line. Leadership isn't about your title or your spot on the org chart. It's an ability. Specifically, it's the ability to intentionally and effectively influence other people. It's about them, not you.
Now, to influence somebody, you have to get what's going on inside their head. Before anyone commits to doing something new, they're subconsciously asking themselves two huge questions. First, is this really worth the effort? And second, can I actually pull this off? If the answer to either of those is no, well, you get nothing.
So, how in the world do you address both of those questions at the same time? This is where our paradox finally solves itself, with a fantastic metaphor for understanding how our minds work.
I want you to meet the rider and the elephant. This simple image perfectly captures that internal tug-of-war we all feel when we're thinking about making a change. You've got the logical part of your brain, and then you've got the powerful emotional part. So let's be clear. The rider on top, that's our rational brain. It loves to plan and analyze. The elephant, that's our emotional brain. It is powerful, it's all about gut feelings, and it loves comfort. And here is the absolute key. That little rider cannot force that giant elephant to go anywhere it doesn't want to go. Logic and willpower will lose to emotion and inertia every single time.
So if you can't just force the elephant to move, what do? The secret is a surprisingly simple framework for influencing both the rider and the elephant, so you can get them to move together. It comes down to three keys. First, you give clear directions to the logical rider. Second, you motivate the emotional elephant. And third, you make the whole journey as easy as possible by shaping the path in front of them. Let's look at each one. First up, direct the rider. This one speaks directly to that question. Can I do it? The rider freaks out when things are vague.
If a task seems too big or the instructions are fuzzy, the rider just freezes up and the person thinks, nope, can't do it. Your job as a leader is to give crystal clear directions and build their confidence. Second, motivate the elephant. This is how you answer the "is it worth it" question. See, the elephant hates huge, scary-looking tasks. It gets spooked and just digs in its heels. The secret here is to make the very first step feel incredibly small and simple, swallowable, as the source calls it. That easy first step gets the elephant moving, and that creates momentum.
And finally, shape the path. This is all about making the right choice the easy choice. It's about getting rid of all the friction in the environment. A good leader can actually set up the situation so the thing you want to happen is the path of least resistance. Simple tools like action triggers and checklists work wonders here.
So what kind of triggers are we talking about? Well, you can tie a new habit to a specific location, a certain time of day, a person you see, or an event that just happened. For example, you could make a rule for yourself like, as soon as I finish my morning coffee, I will do X. You're building an automatic prompt for that action right into your existing routine.
So, there you have it. Leadership starts with you, but it's fulfilled through others. It's about building your own competence and trust so that you have the credibility to then direct the rider, motivate the elephant, and shape the path for your team. The only question left is, whose path are you going to clear first?